This just in, we have some awesome library news to share. Stay tuned. Hey everybody, my name is Rob. This is my mom Karen. Welcome back to Books, Banter, and Beyond. We are your hosts on this magical journey of all things books and book related. Today we're going to dive back into the book bag for a little roundtable and talk about a few news articles, not super new, but still very important, I think, for the world to know, surrounding libraries and what they're doing for the community. So we've talked about before the importance of libraries, of how they allow you to get books you might not be able to get. If you're not able to get to a library, but you have a library card, you can go online and use apps like Libby and stuff. But did you know that they also kind of do a little bit here and there to help others when they can? And the first article I found, kind of by accident, but it was a really cool article, libraries helping entrepreneurs. So it sounds all grand and big, but what they're doing is actually fairly simple here. As we know, many libraries have computers, fax machines, printers, and stuff like that. And what they're actually allowing people to do now, and this is kind of just varied libraries throughout the country, is to allow them to come in for either free or minimal cost to use them for the companies to basically create their products. So whether it's printing out flyers, whether it's creating something. Some of them even have 3D printers now, so they can actually make little things too. But libraries are trying their best to do what they can to basically help underserved communities and businesses, to allow them to get their business up and running.
Sort of like leveling the playing field for those.
It is, and what I was going to, yeah, and exactly, because if you do, there are places like UPS and FedEx and stuff like that, but if you go in there, you'll realize the cost of a lot of that
Right,
stuff.
right.
It's a little high, and
Right.
that's probably just because of economics of how that works. But it is kind of cool that libraries do allow to do this, considering they're already, as a library, a place to come for free to get a
Right.
book. All you need is to get your little card, and a library card is free, guys. So there's no money involved. But what do you think? I mean, it's
This is
simple,
awesome.
but
Yeah,
it's
no,
very.
this is really great. I mean, this is the first I'm hearing about it. I'm an entrepreneur. I didn't know that they did stuff like that. Right. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, I actually didn't. I mean, I knew libraries had the equipment, but I didn't realize that they were used so much in this way. And looking at it now, you think back, you go, oh, this kind of makes sense, because I remember in school when we had to do the projects of doing that, we'd all go to the library
Right.
to print out, because we had to print out so many stacks of paper. And at
Right.
the time, I just thought, okay, this is just easy because I don't have to go home and use my own printer. But then looking at it now, I go, oh, I can see
Yeah.
how this could actually translate to somebody who might need, to
Right.
pass
Do
out a
you-
flyer or a coupon or,
Right. Right. No,
you know,
this is awesome. Do you think that the libraries can do other things, maybe to adapt and help entrepreneurs?
excuse me. Yeah, I mean, I think as time goes on, or has been going on, you have. I know one of your things you use a lot is the AI program, so maybe they can do something with that.
Right. Right.
Um, maybe get more different kinds of business style books that maybe they can give out for a longer period of time and be like, hey, here's a month, take this book, research, do stuff like that. I don't know. I mean, what they're doing now is pretty grand. So I don't know
Yeah.
what else they would need to, but I'm positive there's more they
There's
can.
gotta be. Yeah, I mean, and I'm thinking that if they could increase funding and stuff, which of course there's always never enough money anywhere, but if they could
Right,
increase
right, exactly.
funding, how would that help entrepreneurs to be able to, access the more tools and things, maybe even seminars, maybe even bringing in experts
That's
into
actually a good idea. I mean, I know libraries usually have
right,
open spaces somewhere in there, so they could always hold
right,
maybe business meetings, business seminars, maybe a
right.
how-to, stuff
Would
like that.
yeah, would you agree that libraries already are having to step up because of banned books? And I know that's the next part of our conversation here. Um,
Yeah, I mean that's a good segue in, but yeah, before we get into that one, I do think that generally libraries overall are very necessary now, more so than they would have been, just to get people to just pick up something and just to get a book,
right.
whether it's banned or not. I think generally having an open place to go that's free to be, whether you just need a place to, sit down for a minute, grab, some of them have like that tea machine. It's good to have a space to go where if you just need 5 or 10 minutes to just kind of chill, you got it there, and they're not
Yeah,
very.
this makes me smile, Rob, because back in the day when I was younger and you weren't even a figment of my imagination, we used to go to the library. And we talked about this a couple of weeks ago. I loved going to the Santa Monica Library. It was
Yeah,
like this huge, huge building. It was bigger than anything I'd ever been in. And it was so cool. You'd walk in and it was a safe space. And you could look at all
yeah,
the books and you can go to the card file cabinet that they don't think they actually have anymore. Everything's computerized.
probably not.
But what an experience. And I remember that. I remember doing that. And I think it's awesome that it looks like it's sort of coming back.
Well, so I was going to say, to actually turn the question on you as to what can they do. It seems like
Right.
they're doing it already, and they have been doing it.
Right,
So
right. No, I think
yeah,
this is great. And you're right with the AI and being, I'm sure the libraries also have computers now at this point. They have to have, I mean, this is
right,
part
right,
of what they do.
exactly.
So being able to access stuff, research, Encyclopedia Britannicas are no longer a thing, right? We used to have walls of encyclopedias. Now you can research in the library without getting the encyclopedia. We used to go to the library to get the encyclopedia. That's what
Yeah,
we
yeah.
used
I
to do.
remember having to go and looking for like the ISBN number to find the book that matches to what I can
Right,
check out,
right,
and
right,
then searching through the aisles. Fun times. But no, but I mean, yeah, you make a valid point. It's a place to go for
right,
pretty much anybody who just wants a place to go, I think.
right.
And then, as you mentioned a second ago about banned books, this one was really fun and kind of funny to me. But the ALA, the American Library Association, is making book resumes to help ban books. So they are making resumes for you to read those books. That's their job. Their job is to be read. So they want you to read.
So it's a one sheet? Is that what you mean by
So
resume?
they're well, we'll have to go and find some images to put up
Summarizes
here.
their
But
thing.
basically, you're right. They're writing a resume for why you should read the book, and just like a resume for you and I, if we were going to get a job, these resumes not only explain the book, but they explain why they're important to read. They explain why they're banned, so that way prior to reading. But
Right,
they really just want to make sure that you know that there's these books out there with significance to whether it's culture, history,
right.
whatever, and they're doing what they can to do it. And only they would make book resumes for it. But just for those who maybe missed the other book banning episode, book bans usually target the issues that may be a little uncomfortable for the general population to discuss. And the government has the rules now that they can kind of pick and choose, but more so state to state.
Right.
They're kind of going, we don't want this. This is our thing. We don't really need to tell you why. We're just going to do it. So it's really neat that not only is the library a place for people, they're making it a safe place for the books because
Right.
they're really
Well, they're reframing.
motivating.
They're literally reframing this narrative that these
Yeah,
books are awful, horrible. There's something terrible is going to happen to anyone who reads these books. Which we're not going to get into anything political here, guys. That's not the point. But the point is, how cool is it that the libraries are addressing this?
right, exactly.
Totally. So, do you think that by doing this, they're going to like influence public opinion on the banned books? Do you think they're going to make a dent in this, or
I mean, I'm trying to think back because we did the video before and what we said then about what we thought. Um, I think it's going to be person to person. Honestly,
yeah,
I think generally, you're not going to get 98% of people, but if you can get the 2%, then
that's better than
that's
nothing,
cool.
right?
That works. Maybe if it's enough, they'll get more people, but I think it's really more of like it's the individual
Right.
that goes in and says, "Hey, I'll give it a shot."
So, a question, Rob: where do you find these resumes? Do you know? Did they tell you where?
I didn't see it on the article that I read, but I'm positive if you go to the ALA website, the American Library, they probably have a list.
Of the resume?
Or if you go to the library that's participating, they probably will have something on their website that has a page of these. We'll go back and I'll see if we can find. That you read the article, they don't really have all the actual info, but it just I have the general stuff there. But I would think if you go on their websites, they probably would have something that would show the
Right.
resume, so to speak. So
And if you're looking for a new book, actually, not a new book, a gently used, previously owned
there you go.
new book, check out the Next Chapter Bookstore.shop because there's lots of books in there. I love the idea of going to a used bookstore, Rob. I really do, because it's like repurposing. It's like using it, you're not doing new. You're actually what did you call it? You call it cycling.
Upcycling.
You
Oh yeah,
redo.
yeah, it would be upcycling. Yeah.
You're right, and I love that. I love that somebody else touched the book and somebody else read. That it was gently used. So go check it out. There's so many great books in there. Let us know what you think about the episode. Let us know what you think about libraries and books being banned and all that. Leave it in the comments, and Rob and I will see you at the next Books Banter and Beyond. Bye.